And you're welcome back to the programme. Ireland's abortion laws violated the human rights of a woman living in Ireland and caused her intense physical and mental suffering, according to a ruling from the United Nations Human Rights Committee yesterday. This is with regard to a woman called Amanda Mellett. And basically the United Nations Human Rights Committee found that Amanda Mellett, an Irish woman, was forced to choose between carrying her baby to term, knowing it would not survive, or travelling abroad for a termination. And the UN has now criticised Ireland and the Irish government for putting Amanda Mellett through financial and emotional suffering. We're joined by two women now with very different stories and very different experiences of the Irish medical system. First, I'm going to go to Gaye Edwards, who's with an organisation called Termination for Medical Reasons Ireland. Gaye, good morning to you. You're welcome to the show.
Thank you very much. Good morning.
Why are you involved with the group Termination for Medical Reasons?
Well, it's because I know firsthand what the experience that Amanda had, because I went through something similar 15 years ago, and I think it's a terrible shame that in 15 years nothing has changed, and there have been people speaking out all through those years to have changes made for people in our circumstances.
Just explain to us your circumstances 15 years ago. You became pregnant.
That's right, yes, and everything was moving along uneventfully, perfectly normally, and then it came to the stage for my 20-week anomaly scan, and I went in there. I was really looking forward to it, I have to say, to seeing how my baby was doing, and to get the precious scan pictures and all that. And during the course of the scan, the ultrasonographer she stopped talking, and then when she started talking again, she said that she wasn't seeing what she hoped to, that bone should show up white on the scan, and that she wasn't seeing it around where the head should be. And then she went and got a consultant. The short version is that it turned out that our son had a condition called anencephaly, which they told us was a condition that's incompatible with life.
Right.
There was no prospect of him being born alive.
So this is foetal abnormality, that right. If you were to carry your baby to full term, that your child would not survive.
That's correct, yes.
Okay.
Yes.
So then you were told by doctors what your options were.
Well, what I was told was that my only option in this jurisdiction was to continue the pregnancy, and that they would continue to look after me, that I would be coming in regularly for scans to see if what the progress was, as in the growth of the baby, and really to check whether there was still a heartbeat.
Okay, you decided for you that you needed to have a termination.
Well, I decided that the best option for me in my circumstances and for my family, after, I wasn't given any information. I wasn't told that there was such an option, but through my own research and through my own inquiries, I found out that this was an option that was available in other jurisdictions, for instance, the UK.
Okay. So you would feel that your situation is very similar to this lady, Amanda Mellett, who brought a case to the UN then? Very similar,
yes, in that there was no... once I made the decision that I couldn't continue with the pregnancy, there was no further medical, emotional or psychological support.
Right. And phrases used by the United Nations like intense physical and mental suffering and inhuman, would you agree with those?
These are the type of emotions that I had discussed with Amanda. I know Amanda quite well, and there's a lot of commonality. I know. Through Termination for Medical Reasons, I know many women who have gone through the same thing, and there's a lot of commonality, there's a lot of overlap when it comes to the feelings of abandonment, and that it's cruel and inhuman.
Okay, stay with us please if you wouldn't mind, Gaye, and you will be still on the line. I want to bring in now another woman, which is Sinead McBreen. Good morning to you, Sinead, how are you?
Hiya, good morning.
Thanks for joining us on the show. Sinead, you became pregnant. When was this?
It's 2 years ago.
Okay.
2 years
And
ago.
just explain that pregnancy and what happened, please.
At my 16-week scan, I'd had 2 scans previously, 2 early scans, which were perfect. Everything was going fine. At a 16-week scan, my consultant said there was something wrong. And the baby, well, he showed me the scans. The baby had fluid everywhere, all around her brain, all the organs. And I was huge, so we knew there was something wrong. Sent straight to Dublin the following morning, where we did more scans and a CDS, which is to determine if the baby had a chromosome problem. So basically, we discovered after a few days that my baby had Down syndrome, which wasn't the issue. The issue was that she also had hydrops, which is the fluid, and a cystic hygroma. And I was given the devastating news that my pregnancy would not go past 20 weeks.
But were you also told, because this is a phrase that we hear the whole time, fetal abnormality?
Yes, I was told the baby was not compatible with life, and that it was this, which is not a medical term either. It's just, I was told fetal abnormality, the pregnancy will not continue. I was then told, even the day we had the scan in Dublin, I was told, listen, why are you carrying on with this pregnancy? It's not going anywhere. The best option is to terminate. And I said, well, you mean abort the baby? And they were, no, just it's the medical management of your pregnancy. It's not a termination. Don't look at it like that. We were under pressure for quite a few weeks initially, and told, listen, the pregnancy's going nowhere. Why are you choosing this route? Made feel very foolish for carrying on with a pregnancy that was going nowhere. And yet my daughter was born 18 months ago, and she's perfect. Yes, she has Down syndrome. That was never the issue. She's perfect. What they saw on the scans, whether they resolved or what, she's perfect.
Okay. And were you told by medical professionals, get the boat to England? Like,
I was told they would support me to do that. Yeah, they were told, listen, we have a sister hospital in the UK. It's the medical management of your pregnancy. People are doing this. Don't feel bad. I was made feel very, very foolish, like a foolish mom. I was told, you four kids at home, get on with your life. It was very, in my opinion, very inhumane. My child meant nothing to them. It was, why continue with this pregnancy? It was frightening. It was frightening that these were the options that would be. This was the only option that was being put to me.
Right. Okay. Now, you're not, I understand, involved with any group, but you would, I assume, class yourself on the pro-life side of things?
Absolutely. I mean,
you would be against abortion in any circumstance, would you?
I suppose I'm coming from my experience again, and this is where I'm coming from. I would be pro-life, yes. I don't, I suppose, what I'm talking about today is this fetal abnormality that's been bandied about the whole time, and people are saying it's very inhumane for women to have to carry these babies that are dying. I was that woman. I was happy to carry my child. Every day was a bonus to me. Okay. Every day, I got up and we checked the heartbeat every week.
Right, let me ask you, what did you make when you heard the news from the UN yesterday that this lady, Amanda Mellett, was caused intense physical and mental suffering by Ireland's abortion laws, and things like inhuman and cruel, phrases like those being used by the UN about Ireland?
Well, I suppose it's a committee. The UN isn't a court. That's how she felt, and that's valid as well,
But the UN saying that Ireland is cruel and inhuman and caused this woman intense physical and mental suffering.
I don't understand that, to be honest. I don't understand where they're coming from. I mean, our laws are to protect the mother and the child. I never, I felt that the Eighth Amendment protected my daughter. I don't want to see a case in the UK, where you're given the news like I was given, and 6 hours later I'm in another room and a termination is carried out.
Okay.
I wouldn't know any different.
Gaye, can I bring Gaye Edwards back in from the Termination for Medical Reasons Ireland? Just in terms of the 8th Amendment, your group is one of those involved in a campaign to repeal it. Just explain your views on the 8th Amendment.
Well, the 8th Amendment, I'm very happy to hear that Sinead's daughter was born healthy, and I'm somewhat dismayed to hear that she felt that she was being, I'm paraphrasing here, railroaded into going down the route of termination. And it's peculiar that my experience is the
Gaye,
exact
just
opposite,
to say to you, Gaye, we have
mentioned,
right.
you know.
But Gaye, can I just be clear on something here? Sinead McBreen isn't the first person that we have interviewed on this show, because we have had other women and local women who've been in this studio who've said that they were told by doctors, go to England.
Yeah, I find that quite shocking, and I don't believe that's the correct approach either. I'm a great believer in informed consent, that the options should be laid out, that second and subsequent opinions should be offered, and that a decision can be made with all the information available. But I believe that the information and the counselling and the guidance should be non-directional, and that the ultimate decision should be left to the woman, to the mother.
Okay. There's plenty of reports in the papers today, Gaye, that the government is slightly stalling on this. They're not going to act yet on that UN report. What would you make of that if the government don't act within the 180 days?
Well, I think it's incumbent upon them to act within that period of time. They have already said that they are going to set up a citizens' assembly. I think that's the very least they could do. My own view is that this has changed the landscape, and in fact that they should go straight to a joint Oireachtas committee and take the recommendations and very, very seriously.
Okay, and Sinead McBreen, to ask you, do you feel that the government then shouldn't act? They should leave things as they are?
I think, they've talked about having this, this committee, and I mean, maybe, they should look at it. I don't believe that they should remove the 8th Amendment. That's my opinion. I think it protects in Ireland, and I think we're unique in that area, that we protect the mother and the child, and I think that's what should stay. That's.
Okay, well, I have to leave it there, but I want to say to both of you, thank you so much for sharing your personal stories with us. It's great not to have politicians or lobbyists on the show, but to have two women with their experiences. I really do appreciate it. And that's Gaye Edwards, Termination for Medical Reasons Ireland, and also Sinead McBreen. Thanks honestly to both of you. I do appreciate that genuinely, and good to talk to you both this morning.